Hey, this is Tom with Cardio Movie Reviews. So this is my first YouTube video ever. I also have an Instagram, Cardio Movie Reviews, all one word. It's called Cardio Movie Reviews because over the last few years I've lost like 120 pounds, and a lot of that has been in the gym, and so I do weights and things like that. But I also do cardio. And I don't like cardio. You probably don't like cardio either if you do it. But I watch movies on my phone, and then I review movies that I have watched. So some on my phone and some just, theater at home, that sort of thing. But Star Wars, because I'm a Gen X kid, Star Wars has been a part of my life forever. The first movie I remember seeing in the movie theater was Return of the Jedi, and it awakened my imagination. Like, I loved Return of the Jedi. And then I got into all the Star Wars movies, and I love Star Wars. So I thought, what a perfect way to start off this YouTube videos is by ranking all the Star Wars movies. Now, when you rank something, you're going to make people mad. And going into this, I want you to know, I like Star Wars movies. Like, I love all of the Star Wars movies, but some I love less. And we're going to talk about that, right? But I even like the Ewok movies. Those are good. I like the cartoons. I like the Clone Wars, Rebels. Rebels was a lot of fun for me. I know some didn't like the animation style, but I love Rebels, love Clone Wars, Bad Batch, all of that. Now, there was one after Rebels. That thing was trash. I forget what it was called, but it was not good. But you might get mad at me. Prequels fans, you're going to get mad at me. And that's okay. Because bring all the smoke, okay? Bring it all. I can handle it. I'm a big boy. And I'll tell you why I don't like some of these movies as much as the others. But again, I love them all. So let's go ahead and get started. So the last one on the list for me is Attack of the Clones. This is episode 2. So I'm going to be showing you all the Blu-ray steelbooks. I have all of those. Thought that might be a fun way to rank these. So here's the back of that, and it is a cool poster there. Why do I have this one lower? We'll get to in a second. But I want to point out a couple things that I do like about Attack of the Clones. Number one, that beginning scene with the chase, that is a lot of fun with Obi-Wan and Anakin. I like that scene. That's cool. Also, going to Geonosis, very cool. The battle between Jango Fett and Obi-Wan in the rain, I love that. It's such a great scene. And that's about it. Yep, that's about all that I like, that I really like about that one. Because there's some parts that just aren't good. Like the Droid Factory, oh my gosh, that is CGI garbage. And then even the big Jedi fight, again, just CGI garbage. And I don't remember, it's like Backstreet Boys or NSYNC are in that as well, or something like that. Not good. And then even Count Dooku and Yoda, that fight scene, just not good. The Clone Wars fight, not just CGI yuck, right? And here's the thing, like George Lucas reinvented special effects and things like that, right? And so I just don't understand why he went away from practical to CGI, because it just doesn't look good. And then, so that one's last on my list is Attack of the Clones. Next is The Last Jedi. So I don't love The Last Jedi, and I'll tell you why here in a second. But again, there are some scenes that I really like. The beginning with Poe, very cool. There's the throne room fight until one part is really cool. So here's the back of that one. I don't hate the sequel series as much as some people do, but this one, here's what I don't like about it. And I'll start with a minor problem and get to the major problem. The minor problem is you create Snoke in the first one, and he's such a cool looking villain. And I remember leading up to this, everyone's like, Snoke, who is Snoke? Does he have a connection to any of the previous movies? Like, who is this guy? Very cool looking villain. And then, spoiler, they kill him. Just bam, he's gone. And it's like, what? What are we doing here? And then the biggest issue, Luke Skywalker. Come on. like Ryan Johnson just killed the character of Luke Skywalker. He's not Luke Skywalker in this movie. And I can't forgive that as much. Like if Luke was right, if you get Luke right in this movie, this is near the top of my list. But when you do to Luke what you did to Luke, it's second to last. And while I still like this and I rewatch it, I just can't forgive what happens to Luke Skywalker. Like, this is the guy that brings down Darth Vader. This is the guy that brings down the Emperor, and you make him a coward, basically. And I can't forgive that, right? Like, all I wanted was one more Luke Skywalker movie, and this is the one you give me? Sorry, no, it's near the end. Next up, this one's probably going to make some people mad. Phantom Menace. Now again, there's some cool stuff in this. This guy, for example, Darth Maul, awesome. I love Darth Maul. So cool. I mean, just the look of him is amazing, right? And then the lightsaber battle in this one, very cool. I love the lightsaber battle in this. Even some of the fighter stuff is good. But it's so slow. Also, Jar Jar stinks. Sorry. I know some of you are going to get mad about that too. Jar Jar stinks. You know, when Qui-Gon saves him, you know the scene. I am always rooting every time I watch this. Just let him die. We don't need Jar Jar in this, right? I'm not a fan of Jar Jar. I'm not a fan of the Gungans. Again, we got CGI mess, which I don't understand why we have CGI mess, because George Lucas, we know that you can do better. But this one, just not great. Oh, and my biggest issue with this, growing up as a fan of the original trilogy, all I wanted to do in my life was be a Jedi. I wanted to be a Jedi so bad. And this movie makes being a Jedi about going to board meetings. And as a person who has gone to a lot of meetings in my life, that is not what I want from being a Jedi. Come on. No. But still, it's Star Wars, so I love it. Just not as much as others. Okay? Next up, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, I think we all know what happened with this movie. So, J.J. Abrams came out with Force Awakens. It was received really well for the most part, and people were excited. Then Rian Johnson came out with The Last Jedi, and it was very divided. Some people loved it, and a lot of people hated it. And so in reaction to that, J.J. comes back, and he makes this. And there was a whole lot of fan service that didn't always work well. But there are parts of it I like. Right, the Emperor stuff, I can take it or leave it. But the scene where you go back to the Death Star from Return of the Jedi, I actually like that scene. I actually like some of the Lando stuff that's in this, and I like sort of the chase scenes where you're trying to figure out the mystery. Some of that really works for me. Now, Last Jedi would be a lot higher for me than this one if it hadn't been for what they did to Luke Skywalker. So, again, I love this movie, but I don't love it as much as others. Okay? All right, next up, Solo. This movie got a whole lot of unfair hate. I think it's a fun journey. It's impossible to replace Harrison Ford as Han Solo. We all know that, but they did the best they could. I thought Donald Glover as Lando was perfect. So good. Woody Harrelson in this movie is so much fun. And, there's a lot of this that is good. Now, is it a little bit of a mess? Yeah, but it's a fun ride. And I think it failed because people were mad at the sequel series. And that's why this movie ended up failing. But if you haven't seen it, or you haven't seen it in a while, I would encourage you, give this one another shot. The Han and Chewie stuff is a lot of fun. And it's just a fun movie. So Solo is next on my list. All right. So I remember when The Force Awakens came out, I loved it. And getting to see Han Solo back, getting to see Chewie back, getting to see them on the Millennium Falcon was great. And so again, there's a look at the Steelbook. Kylo Ren, I thought, man, what a great villain Kylo Ren is. He has this cool look. The voice is very cool. I think the worst thing they did to Kylo Ren was take the mask off. Man, leave that mask on because it was cool. Also, the stuff with him and the Vader mask, love that. And I know people get mad at Rey. I thought Rey was great. You know, Rey is courageous. And you get a courageous female in this film. And I like that idea. You know, Rey is really good. And the lightsaber battle between her and Kylo is visually just beautiful. And I know JJ gets a lot of crap about lens flares and all that. I don't care about any of that. The story was fun. And it was exciting to see where they were going to go next. You know, the very end when she finds, you know, Luke Skywalker and you're like, oh, what's going to happen? And then Rian Johnson ruined that whole scene. But up until then, this was really good. So it ranks fairly high because I wish we could go back to this one and just start all over again. But, you know, can't do that. But, yeah, Star Wars Force Awakens, really good. Also, Carrie Fisher is good in this. And, man, rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. We miss you. But, Force Awakens. Okay, next up, Revenge of the Sith. Okay, this is by far the best of the prequel movies. And, even though still some CGI stuff, the stuff between Anakin and Palpatine is unbelievable. Ian McDermott, listen, I know you can't win an Oscar for acting in a Star Wars movie, but Ian McDermott should have had a chance at that. He is so villainous in this, but in a low-key way, and it's great. The fight on Mustafar between Obi-Wan and Anakin is really well done. The opening fight scene and the fighters, really well done. And Anakin's change from Anakin to Vader is so good. Mace Windu has some good scenes in this. Still a little too much board meeting stuff. Okay, Jedi, forget board meetings. We don't need all that. And then the younglings. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. Great and menacing. So good. Couple things don't like. Come on. Amidala dies of a broken heart. Give me a break. Can't we do a little bit better than that? And I've had prequel fans push back and go, no, that's not how she died. Well, it's literally what Obi-Wan said, that she died of a broken heart. So she died because she was sad. Come on. Was Princess Leia going to die because she was sad? No. Right? Is Rey going to die because she's sad? No. Amidala deserved better than that. So that's why this one doesn't rank quite as high near the top, but it is really good. Also, General Grievous is a cool character. Now, I will say he's a lot cooler in, I know you're thinking about the Clone Wars cartoon. There was a previous Clone Wars cartoon, which was really short Clone Wars episodes. And it was, it came before the Clone Wars series, and he is absolutely menacing in that. But General Grievous was cool as well, and the fight between he and Obi-Wan is great as well. So, Revenge of the Sith, really good movie. Okay, now this is where it gets difficult for me, because now we're getting into the ones that I love, 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 love. I already told you about the first movie I saw in the theater. And so this is like choosing your favorite kid, okay? That's where we're at in this stage. Return of the Jedi is next. A lot of people don't like the Ewoks in this. I have no problem with the Ewoks. I thought the Ewoks are fun, all right? No issue with the Ewoks. Here's the back of that, right? Jabba's palace, unbelievable. Love Jabba, and so good. And Jabba's skiff and all that is great. And I know some people get mad at what happens to Boba Fett and whatever, okay? But there's a couple reasons that this is so high for me. One, it has one of the greatest low-key scenes in the history of Star Wars. And it is a scene where Luke Skywalker has turned himself into Darth Vader. and he turns himself in. And Vader is talking to him before he takes him to see the Emperor. And Luke keeps talking about, I know there is still good in you. And Vader says essentially, like, that time has passed for me. And the stormtroopers take Luke away. And there's this zoom in on Vader where he's holding Luke's lightsaber. And he just pauses for a minute. And this, the shooting of this was so well done, because you can tell that there is conflict now in Vader of what does he do. The throne room scene between Luke and Vader, listen, it's not the greatest acrobatic lightsaber scene in Star Wars, but it is the best lightsaber scene because of the emotion of that battle. It is so well done. And then, the end of this. Now, here's where we got to talk. When I'm talking about this, I'm talking about the end, the original end with the Nyub Yub song, right? After everything is won, we have the Nyub Yub Ewok song. And I love that song. And then it got changed and, afterwards by George Lucas. And now we got a different song. But the original ending is great. And, and you got Force Ghost Anakin. And I know he's been now replaced with Hayden Christensen. I don't mind that as much, but I miss Nyub Yub, right? And I miss the original songs at Jabba's Palace. So when I'm reviewing this, I'm talking about the original theatrical release of Return of the Jedi, which I love with my whole heart. But I have it number 4, okay? Number 4, but barely, right? These are all razor thin. Okay, this might be controversial. The next one I have up is Rogue One. I was not expecting to like this movie, but I absolutely love Rogue One. And this whole story is great. And, it's the story leading up to, it ties right into A New Hope. And a couple things that are just stellar in this. The whole visuals of this movie. And I know, like, there's some directing issues, and it's crazy that this movie is as good as it is. But you have this sort of doomed crew who come together for this mission, and it's essentially a suicide mission. Spoiler, but it's well done. The final battles are incredible. I wish this had been what the prequel and sequel series had been like, because you had me. And then let's talk about that Darth Vader scene, making Darth Vader scary again. Holy cow. I remember seeing that in the theater and going, I have to watch this scene over and over and over again, because Darth Vader is, he's Michael Myers. He's Jason Voorhees in that final scene, and he is awesome. So Rogue One shockingly makes it to number 3 on my list. This might be a little controversial too. A lot of times people say this is the greatest Star Wars movie, and I have it second, barely. Empire Strikes Back. Now, for a long time, I would have said this is my favorite Star Wars movie. Because again, the climactic battle with Luke and Vader is awesome. You've got, the most baller line ever when Han is getting ready to be frozen in carbonite, and Leia says to him, I love you, and Han just replies, well, you know what he replies, don't you? Yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, you know what he replies, and it's just great. The stuff on Hoth is really good, and the only thing that makes this slightly lower than our number 1, the stuff now on Dagobah with Luke and Yoda drags a little bit, and so that part in the middle is just a little slow watching it over and over again. Although I do, R2 and Yoda fighting is so much fun. But then when the training part, it gets a little bit slow there. But still, number 2 with a bullet, right? Because it's just barely behind our number 1 Star Wars movie of all time. And that is the first one. I don't mean episode 1. I mean the real first one. A New Hope. This picture is actually even the screen on my Apple Watch. I remember staring at that poster as a kid over and over and over again, just dreaming of Star Wars things. This is plants the seeds of the Clone Wars, and and it's so, George Lucas was so brilliant. He drops you right into everything. There's no like setup. You're just right into the battle, and that the Star Destroyer flying over, and you just like, what is happening? This is so amazing, and it's such adventure and comedy with Han Solo, because man, Han Solo, one of the greatest characters of all time. Obi-Wan, Luke, and that the scenes on Tatooine with the droids, and of course the iconic scene of Luke looking up at the suns and dreaming of going to space and fighting, and then you've got the trench run at the end. The only thing that maybe you could squabble with a little bit is not a lot of lightsaber fights, but it doesn't matter because everything else in this is so good. Even I remember my sister and I reenacting the scene of Leia and Luke sort of trying to swing over the chasm there in the Death Star, and we would jump off chairs to do that kind of thing, and just it's so amazing. It's maybe my top movie of all time, Star Wars: A New Hope. So that is my ranking. You can tell me your ranking, and we can disagree because it's all Star Wars love here, right? And I'm looking forward to where Star Wars goes in the future, and I will for sure be along for the ride as long as I'm here. But those are my Star Wars rankings. So please, like, subscribe, do all the things. Follow me on Instagram. I post a lot more there, but Cardio Movie Reviews. So, all right, have a good one.